Hello, in this video we will discuss the love life of an autistic person. Love amp, autism. Although some people on the autism spectrum enjoy fulfilling relationships, there are others for whom emotional attachment can be difficult, and this may affect intimate relationships, family relationships and friendships. Here we present the views of people on the spectrum and, in some cases, their partners. Some people in long-term relationships, married or living together, sometimes with children, talked about positive and difficult aspects of their relationships. One woman thought that people with Asperger syndrome enter into relationships with people who are very caring and they pick someone who compensates for what they lack. A few partners said their husbands were very focused on them when they first met, which they thought might be a characteristic of autistic spectrum condition. Sex life of an autism. Autism spectrum disorders (ASD) are neurodevelopmental disorders that comprise a heterogeneous group of conditions, which are characterized by impairments in social interaction and communication, as well as repetitive and stereotyped interests and behaviors. Reported prevalence rates have risen markedly in recent decades, up to 1% lifetime prevalence, with more and more adults being diagnosed with ASD. It is assumed that the male-to-female ratio is between 2, and there exist particular gender differences in ASD. Although nearly half of individuals with ASD are not intellectually impaired and have normal cognitive and language skills, such as individuals with high-functioning autism or Asperger syndrome, the social interaction and communication deficits and difficulties in seeing the perspective of others and intuitively understanding nonverbal social cues constitute hidden barriers to the development of romantic and sexual relationships. Autism and relationships. Autistic people have a lot to offer in a relationship, including loyalty, reliability, commitment, and honesty. People in relationships with an autistic person will often say they were attracted to their quirky sense of humor or their different way of seeing the world. Many autistic teens and adults are very passionate about a special interest. So, they invest an intense amount of time and energy into it. They can talk on and on about it. Oftentimes, this extreme passion and interest extend to their relationship as well. Have you ever joked about a friend who recently fell in love and can't think about or talk about anything else? Well, that's similar to how an autistic person feels about their special interests and their love life. Autism and romance. Many people with autism crave intimacy and love. But, they don't know how to achieve it in a romantic relationship. They can feel blind to everyday subtle social cues from their partner. This can cause conflict and hurt feelings. There is a common misconception that people with an ASD are not interested in relationships or romance. This simply isn't true. While this population struggles with social skills and communication, this doesn't equate with disinterest, even though the stress and sense of self-defeat may dissuade an autistic person from attempting romance. In a study done by Toronto's Redpath Centre, just 32.1% of people with autism had a partner and only 9% were married. This contrasts with the statistics of the general population, where about 50% of adults are married. Romantic relationships are not addressed in transitional support plans from childhood to adulthood. Just because a person has autism doesn't mean there is no desire for affection and intimacy.